Hey everybody, it's Tad Hargrave. Happy holidays, and I wanted to film this little video for you as my gift to you this Christmas. The last few months, as I've been traveling around, I did a whole tour. I went from Calgary to Winnipeg, did workshops in Toronto, London, Guelph, Waterloo, Orangeville, Montreal, Ottawa, Halifax, Port Williams, etc. I went all across Canada, out east, and as I was doing it, predictably, one of the things that comes up a lot in the workshops is this question of niche and target market. And I've had a whole new sort of understanding about niche that I wanted to share with you that has been super useful for people in having a sort of breakthrough or beginning to start on their own niche. So the first thing I want to say is that as soon as we say, I hear this all the time where people get frustrated and they say, I haven't found my niche, I don't know what my target market is, and the first thing I want to put out is this thought that maybe you don't just have one niche. That would be great. There are other videos on my website that talk about the importance of niche, so I'm not going to get into that. Yes, if you have one niche, your life just got a lot easier, that's true, but most people don't just have one, they have multiple. Even a lot of the marketing gurus out there who talk about having a niche, pick your focus, have multiple target markets in reality. So that's the first thought I want to put out, is you may not just have one, so we can kind of relax and not freak out as much. So the thing I want to share is this idea, I call it big circle, little circles. So if you think about, there's the big circle that you have, and that's where you start off with in your target market. So for me, that would be things like hippie entrepreneurs, conscious entrepreneurs as my big circle. And that's kind of the blanket term that I use. Or for you, it might be people with chronic pain, or it might be kind of women who want to be empowered, or women into holistic nutrition, or men, single dads who've gone through a painful divorce, etc. So you start with the big circle. What's the general idea of who you want to work with? That can include the qualities of the people, it might include some of the basic demographics of it, the basic types of groups. And it doesn't matter how broad you start. This is what I love about this model. No matter how broad you start, it could just be like men, women, people over 50 years old. You start with where you're at. So that's your big circle. Within those, so that's the first idea. So again, if you have one, it's great. But if you have 12 target markets, that's overwhelming. You can't reach everybody. And so that's usually the challenge I see. People either try to pick one when they're not ready to and when it's not appropriate, or I work with everybody. So what I want to suggest as the sort of provocative premise is pick your top three. Pick three target markets that you're going to focus on most, that will get 80% of your effort, because the rest you'll get sort of ancillary business, you'll get other people coming in. Anyways, so you pick the top three. So in my case, the top three might be holistic practitioners as sort of a smaller circle. Within that, there could be people who make green products like, recycled journals, organic dog biscuits, cloth diapers, that types of thing. And then a third circle might be green service providers, so like green realtors, green financial advisors, green insurance brokers. So you pick the three big ones, or sort of little circles in the big circle. Now within that, I might refine it further. I might say, okay, now within holistic practitioners, there are body worker types, there's more that energy worker type, and then there's nutritionists, people who work the food angle. And within those, I might break that down even further. I might say, okay, now nutritionally, we're looking at, there are people who work around macrobiotic stuff, vegan stuff, and raw food stuff, for example. So you get the idea. These circles can keep being narrowed down and down. So it doesn't matter where you start. You can start as broad as you'd like, and then you start refining until you've got something that works. Because remember, the three criteria of a good niche. Number one is, well, first of all, when we talk about niche, big picture, it's a community of people with a shared set of needs and experiences. It's a community of people with a shared set of needs and experiences, meaning you get them in a room, they're going to say, and talk about their average day, they'll say, oh, me too. But the three big criteria, number one, it's clear. People hear it and say, that's me, or I know somebody like that. So it's people who are stressed, people going through transition, people who are fundamentally open to change, not a good target market. Doctors, lawyers, CEOs, backpackers, vegans, single dads who've gone through a painful divorce. Those are really clear target markets. So first it's clear. Number two is there are enough of them who can afford to pay you. And number three, there are hubs. You can find them. So you want to keep working and refining these circles until you get to a point where you've found a smaller circle that fits all three of those criteria. Once you've got that, that's something you can work with. So that's the idea. big circle, little circles. Think of your top 3 and know that this is less of a result, it's more of a thought process that may change. If you're just starting off in business, it's probably good to work with a bunch of different people and get experiences. I would still suggest that it's better to pick 3 circles and work with those and change them as you need, because you might start down one path and realize that that group actually isn't the best group for you and you want to change it. That's okay. But start with some focus. That will take you further than just trying to reach everybody and having a real scattered marketing approach. So big circle, little circle. So what I'd love for you to do right now actually is come up with your big circle and little circles and email them to me, because I'd love to see what you've come up with. And if you email it to me as my Christmas gift to you, I promise I'll email you back with some quick feedback and possibly even share it on my website if you're open to that. I think there's a lot we can learn from this discussion. I'd love to learn how clear this idea is landing or not, so I can get better at articulating it. So that's the idea. Happy holidays. This is my holiday gift to you. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Notes! Did you hear the one about the cross-eyed teacher? She couldn't keep her pupils straight. Do you know how many Grateful Dead fans it takes to screw in a light bulb? None. They just let it burn out and follow it around for 20 years. Did you hear the one about the giant that threw up? It's all over town. Do you know how many anarchists it takes to change a light bulb?
How many?
None. Anarchists can't change anything. Hey-o! Oh. That is a very politically astute joke, I think.